Good morning guys, it's good to see you all again. So today's video is going to be all about Mallanders. Now Mallanders is a skin condition found in horses. It's typically associated with anything with feathers, so your draft types, your Shires, your Clydesdales and your Gypsy cobs. Anything that's going to have feathered legs is going to be susceptible to having this skin condition. Now Mallanders is caused by an overproduction of keratin, and that basically results in a lot of flaking and scabbing, and this usually forms around the knees, the backs of the knees, down the backs of the legs, and it can sometimes be found on the front of the hocks. Now if it's found on the back legs, around the hock area, that's generally referred to as Sallanders, but they are both the same thing. Mallanders and Sallanders are the same skin condition. It just refers to the fact that one's on the front legs, one's on the back leg. See that in there? So you're going to get all these dandruffy like flakes forming like this. I don't know if you can see that very well, but you get all these flakes forming, and what happens is they build up on the skin dries out, the skin cracks, the hair gets all clumped together and it can get sore and pull, and eventually what can happen is you'll end up with cracking, splitting, bleeding, and then at that point your horse is susceptible to secondary infection, which is definitely something you want to avoid. Now, when we first realised we had this problem with these horses, like everybody else, I went on Google, did a lot of research, and everything seemed to point me towards these really expensive lotions and shampoos and all these very specific products that were targeted towards treating this condition. And actually what I found over the years is that it can be managed really easily and really cheaply. You don't need to go spending a ton of money on loads of fancy, very specific products. Now, if you have a really bad case of Mallanders, it may be worth consulting with your vet and looking at some of those specifically targeted products. But in the case of Nelly here, this is perfectly manageable with just some bog standard soap and a little bit of moisturiser or pig oil, which is exactly what we do to maintain our horses. So I would just like to show you today how we go about dealing with this. I said we have a super simple regime. It literally involves these two products. I actually prefer using the soft soap over standard shampoos now. It just seems to nourish the hair and the skin so much more. It's absolutely amazing. And then I've got some pig oil. So all we do is we're going to shampoo the legs gently. We're going to try and loosen as much of those flakes and scabs as we can. Make sure the area is nice and clean, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply some pig oil to her legs. Now, like I said, you can use any shampoo you want. Lots of people like to use anti-dandruff shampoo or psoriasis shampoos. They're really, really good for this kind of thing as well, because obviously they're targeted more towards dealing with flaking of the skin. So that's a bonus. Dandruff shampoos are a good way to go. Another thing to bear in mind with your management of Mallanders in horses is diet. Now, we have found that Bluey's always got bits of twigs in his hair. That's so classy. Now, Blue used to get quite bad Mallanders, and because of his sweet itch, we put him onto a slightly different feed than the others. It was significantly more expensive than what we were feeding the other horses, and they didn't really need it, so we left them on what they were on. We put him on this slightly higher quality grade feed that had a few more additional vitamins and minerals added into it, and we noticed that his Mallanders cleared up almost completely just through the change in his food. And actually when winter came along and we put him back on the standard feed that we give the rest of them, we noticed that his Mallanders flared up again. So that's something worth bearing in mind as well if you've got a horse with Mallanders. do a little bit of research into feeds, try a few different things, and see what works for them. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in and start cleaning Nellie Moo's legs. So I'm just going to pop you guys down over here and I'm going to get started on that. Oh yeah, I forgot about this stuff. So, this soft soap, you need to keep it above 10 degrees, and obviously we've had a lot of frost lately. We've had a lot of frost, and it's been down here in a non-frost proof building. And when this stuff gets cold, it's really weird, it liquefies. So, I don't know if you can see in there, but it's liquid. It doesn't seem to affect the soap at all that I've found. This has happened numerous times to this batch, and when the weather warms up it re-solidifies again. But I always have fun with it when it gets like this, because obviously it's cold in there so it's liquefied, but then when you stick your hands into it, oh, it's freezing. The warmth from your hands will cause the soap to start to reset. It's kind of like playing with wax. It's really childish, but it's just, it amuses me. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to stop playing with the soap and start washing the pony's legs. Where have you gone, huh? Just going to use a little soft brush today just to help work the soap into the skin. And I've got a bucket of water. That you've worked the soap really deeply through the hair, and you want to make sure that you actually get to the skin. Rather than just washing the surface of the hair, you've got to get it right in there. So I'm not worrying too much about washing the entirety of her legs. I'm just concentrating on bits where she has the scabbing and the flaking. That's all I'm really interested in today. However, we are coming up to that time of year where I am going to start cleaning all of these ponies up. So they will all be having mane and tail washes soon. They'll all have their feathers scrubbed out properly. We'll get all of that horrible winter yuck out of them all. Make them look a bit more presentable. But yeah, that's not what I'm looking to do today. I'm just concentrating on these scabby areas. Trying to gently massage all the way down to the skin. Now, everywhere you look online, it says in great big capital letters usually, not to pull the scabs off. Now, I completely agree. You don't want to go pulling scabs off your horse's legs, because that is going to make your horse sore and it's going to make your horse bleed, which, as we went over a minute ago, that is going to open up the opportunity for secondary infections. However, I find that you get a lot of flakes that kind of try to detach themselves, but then they get stuck in the feathers on the way out. And so what I like to do is just try to massage any of those flakes that are not attached to the skin anymore. They're just caught up in the hair. I like to try and massage those out of the hair and get rid of those. Oh, she's got it all down the back of her cannon bone at the moment. Really quite crusty in there. Right. So what's probably going to happen here is I'm going to get a lot of the loose stuff off today. I'll let her legs dry out. I'm going to oil them up, and then what the oil is going to do is it's going to soften the skin, and it's going to soften the rest of those flakes and scabs. And as the hair is going to be coated in oil as well, it's going to be a lot easier for all of those flakes that have become detached to just slide straight out of the hair, so they're not going to be getting stuck as frequently, which means she's not going to be getting as bad of a build-up as what she has now. See, this leg is nowhere near as bad as that other leg. You will find that. You'll find that they will have certain patches where they get really bad scabs. They might have one leg that is absolutely riddled with scabs, and they'll go over to the other leg expecting it to be just as bad, and it's not. I mean, this leg is pretty much clean, which I'm absolutely not complaining about. That is fantastic. But that's going to do it for that one. That's pretty good. Another benefit of using the soft soap is that your hands will feel amazing afterwards. Oh, my skin is so soft right now. That stuff is awesome. So I am going to put this away. That's that done for now. I'm going to have a quick feel over her back legs, but yeah, she's clean. Well, when I say she's clean, I mean she's not got scabs. As you can see, she is filthy. You're in your full winter glory, aren't you, Nelly? No. Never mind, we'll get you scrubbed up soon enough. Yeah, so this leg was pretty good, just a tiny bit of scabbing. This leg was quite bad. Actually, you can see in there a lot of the yucky stuff has already been loosened out. The skin actually looks to be in pretty good condition. It's a little bit red, but overall it's that nice pink colour. So we are going to take Nelly Moo down to the hose. We'll get all of that hosed off, we'll dry her off, and then we're going to oil her legs up. Oh, what have I done to you? Whoops. Good girl. Okay, so legs are cleaned, rinsed and dried off. Now it is time to get pig oil on. Now, I have tried many methods of applying pig oil in the past. It can be a bit of a ball ache, it can be very wasteful. I've tried pouring it straight from the big bottle onto my hand and rubbing it in that way. I've tried putting it in spray bottles. They usually don't last very long, they always get clogged up really quickly, which is again a pain in the butt. The best way I've found is to use an old washing up liquid bottle. It's got a fairly large hole at the top, as you can see, so it doesn't get clogged up easily, and it's brilliant because you can just squirt a little bit, however much you want, right on the area that you want to get it on. much in the same way as you would with a spray bottle, only it's not going to clog up every 5 minutes, and you're not going to be sat there screaming and shouting going, oh, why is it not coming out? You don't get that problem with these, so that's a good little tip. Use old washing up bottle for your oil, really good applicator. So we're going to go in down here. As you can see, that looks way better than it did before. So much better. So go in, as you can see, good old squirt. Now I'm going to be really generous with this because I want to make sure that I rub it really deeply into the skin. I don't just want it on the outside of the hair, I want it all the way down to the skin. And what that's going to do is it's going to moisturise the hair and the skin, and it's going to allow any leftover flaky bits, like there's a few bits in here, I don't know if you can see that. Now that's quite well stuck on there. I'm probably going to upset her if I sit here and try and get all of that out. So I'm just going to rub my oil really deeply into that area, and what's going to happen is over the next couple of days all of these flakes and yucky bits are just going to slide down the hair and fall off, and it's going to be gorgeous and fluffy again in a few days and nice and clean. There we go, that'll do for that leg. I've got a yucky hand now. Okay, so that is our little treatment session for today done. This is a really simple, really cheap, really easy maintenance regime. Now, I've shampooed her today. As I said, I don't tend to do that very often, especially throughout the winter. Throughout the summer they'll get shampooed more frequently because we're going out places, we're going to shows, so we're cleaning for presentation. But generally speaking, we just pig oil their legs, and that honestly seems to do the trick. I will admit it, I'm a lazy person. I like to find the simplest, easiest solution to a problem that costs the least amount of money and requires the least amount of effort. And this is what I have come up with for dealing with Mallanders. But yeah, that's just about it for today, guys. I hope that was helpful for someone. If you're interested in finding the soft soap or the oil that we use, I'm going to go ahead and put links to those products in the description down below in case you want to try any of these out. Like I said, they are my favourite two products for leg care. They're absolutely brilliant. I will use other stuff if I haven't got any of this, but they're my favourites by far. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and I will see you next time. Bye!